Now this video just tries to show the difference in baud rate and bit rate for signal transmission. So this is an A-level topic that you might be asked about. So the idea of baud rate, so the baud is the number of signal changes. So it's the maximum rate of signal change on a particular channel or medium. So if we look at the chart here, we've got time going this way, and the baud rate is the number of changes that we can have. So each time a signal changes value like this, so it's the number of those changes per second. So one baud is one change per second, and 100 baud would be 100 changes per second. So that's how fast the change in the signal can be detected. So the bit rate is related to that. So the bit rate, essentially the bit rate is the number of bits that we can transmit per second. So if we're using just 1 bit per signal change, so that's baseband, if you use just the whole channel to decide whether it's either a binary 1 or a binary 0, then that would be the same. The bit rate would be the same as the baud rate. But if, like on this picture, we've got 2 bits per signal change in this case, because we've got 4 voltage levels we can detect, and so we're detecting at sort of close to 0 volts 0, close to 2.5 volts we've got 0 1, close to 5 volts we've got 1 0, and close to 7.5 volts we've got 1 1. So obviously we could split this channel up into lots more levels, so we could send more bits per signal change. But for the sake of just looking at what we've got here, we're just doing 2 of them, 2 bits per signal change. So that means that in a 1 baud system, there's 1 change per second. It'll be 1 times 2 in our case here, was 2. And in 100 bauds, 100 changes would be 100 times 2. 200. So the baud rate times the number of bits per change gives us the bit rate. So we could say that it's the baud rate times the number of bits per signal change. So we could look at it, baud rate times the number of bits per signal, or per signal changing, is the actual bit rate. So the relationship there between baud rate and bit rate is the baud rate times the number of bits per signal change. So that's the difference between baud rate and bit rate.